I'm joined by Evan Walker, the pastor at the First Presbyterian Church of Fairmont, West Virginia, and Diane Floyd, who is a member of the outreach team at the church. The congregation has a street store where they have goods that they put out for people who pass by and are in need. Diane, tell us about this store and how this came about.
Well, it started a few years ago with a former pastor that we had and our church secretary. And what happened is we installed that beautiful fence or gate at the front of our garden area. It separates the garden and then you'd walk into the church office. So anyway, it's a beautiful black fence. And so they came up with the idea of putting coats on the fence, because our church is about 2 blocks away from the soup kitchen. So it's very easy for people to just walk from the soup kitchen down to our church and pick up a coat in the cold winter months. We just do it in the winter time. We also put scarves out, mittens, hats, gloves, and so they can stop by and pick those up as well. So it's been great because people in the community have gotten involved too. We had the Salvation Army to call, and they said, we've got a bunch of coats left over from winter. Would you like to have them for your street store? And we said, sure, we've got a place to store them. So we went and picked those up. So it gave us a good start for the next year. I know some people who have moved away from Fairmont. They were moving to warmer temperatures. And they said, we don't need all these coats anymore. Would you like to have them? And of course, we say, sure, we'll take them. So not just the members of the congregation donate coats, but also people in the community know that we're doing it and they want to help.
Evan, what has been the response from the community? What kind of feedback have you received from people who have seen the items out and maybe even received them?
The response has been truly amazing and spirit-filled. With the members of the congregation who come and volunteer so much of their time to organize them, to make sure they're clean and in good condition. Like, we don't want to give anything that's torn or anything like that away. But also, as Diane said, it's very interesting to sit in the office during the winter and just have people show up with bags and bags of coats and winter items and say, hey, we'd like to donate these to your project. And I mean, we're definitely known for it. I mean, they ran a story in our newspaper about that not too long ago. And it's also very telling to see the need around us in the community. I've looked out the doors many times and seen somebody just stop and shopping, looking at all the coats and taking what they need. And once we put them out, I mean, they don't stay out there very long. They get collected very quickly, whatever we put out. And so there's obviously a need, and it's good to be able to partner, to help. As Diane said, there's the soup kitchen, but there's also a homeless shelter near us, 2 homeless shelters near us. We have a fair amount of transient population here in Fairmont. And so to be able to offer those just as a free, here they are, take them if you're cold, if you need a coat. And the church has really rallied behind that. And it's been a powerful thing to see. And it's been a wonderful thing to take part of as a minister in this church. So.
Yeah, how has the church embraced it? I'm sure, the church members are donating the goods and maybe even hearing stories of people in the community who are really in need and getting some warm clothing for the winter, especially. How has the congregation really embraced it and made it its own?
We have one lady in the congregation who crochets a lot of things. So she has made hats and scarves, and I'm not sure if she's made mittens, but hats and scarves I know that we put out. Of course, they're brand new and colorful, and she does a great job. So members of the congregation have enjoyed donating.
And like I said, we had several who cleaned out closets so that we would have a place to put them, to store them, to keep them organized, to know what we have and where they are. So if somebody comes in, we can say, here's where they are. And wonderful volunteer base to help lead that and put it out. And then we're talking about possibility of putting out something that will protect them from from any wet weather right now. So the church is discussing some sort of shelf or shed kind of thing. Because right now, if it's really raining hard or snowing, we kind of have to bring some of them in so they don't get, the ones that aren't more weatherproof don't get completely soaked. So.
Yeah. How did you know there was such a need? I mean, there's a need everywhere, of course, but how did the church find out that, hey, this is something that there's a need in the community and we need to respond to it?
I think having the soup kitchen up the street, we see the people walking down the street all the time, so it's pretty obvious.
And we have several members who volunteer at the soup kitchen, who volunteered other organizations like that in our community, and so they see the need, and they've encountered and talked with people and heard them as well. So it's been, it's been wonderful. But and one of the things we're trying to do in the church right now is also to see how not just one little thing here and one little thing here, but how can we all work together and combat some of this need and make a deeper impact into that.
Evan and Diane, thank you for taking some time today. It's a great ministry you have going on there in Fairmont, West Virginia, and keep up the great work.
Thank you very much.